This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We're on Apple. We're on
Great start.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Let's go.
We on Apple Podcasts. We're Apple affiliates, so you go to the Apple Podcast app and just type our names in. You'll see us there. You can download us from there, listen to us from there, whatever you want to do. We're also available on podcast platforms all across the world. We're there as well. If you think about it, we're there. That being said,
I'll be there.
we are one step closer to crowning a champion. The final eight, the elite eight of the NFL, for lack of a better word, will be going head to head with each other this weekend.
And I appreciate it because I think these are 8 decent to great teams. So if you remember the last episode, the title was taking out the trash. I believe the trash is all gone. And these are at least 8 of the 10 most elite teams in the NFL. So hopefully we'll actually see some good football this weekend, unlike last weekend.
Right. That's true. I agree.
So, we're starting. Okay, I thought you had more to say. My bad.
No, just make it start, yeah.
All right. How are you, by the way?
I'm doing good. It's cold as hell outside. I mean, hell and cold shouldn't be in
What
the
a great
sentence.
oxymoron. All right.
But that's an oxymoron as hell. But goddamn, it's really cold outside. It's really cold. It's like 10 degrees, 11 degrees with a wind chill of -2. Yeah, it's definitely not valid at all.
No, it's really cold. Really, really cold. This had to be the coldest winter so far in New York City than in a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been pretty damn hot for the last few years.
Yeah, a lot of 45, 50-degree weather last couple of years.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But yeah.
Yeah, so suck it, global warming. No, I'm kidding. All right. Now, let's start with actual football so we can stop boring you.
Right.
So the first game tomorrow at 4:30?
Yes.
Yeah. The Bengals will be visiting the Tennessee Titans. We finally get to see a fully healthy Tennessee squad because today it is official. Derrick Henry will be returning to action. He will be starting. As I said last week, the Bengals are 17th in DVOA. They don't change anymore because the season's over. 18th offense, 19th defense for the season. Titans are actually a lower. They're 20th in DVOA, but 20th in offense and 12th in defense. You know, missing Derrick Henry made that offense go lower than it normally is. And injuries to Julio Jones for 15 of the 17 games, and AJ Brown for about half the season. That does help. And their line was getting beat up too. So that entire Tennessee team went through a crap ton this entire season, hence why Mike Vrabel will more than likely win Coach of the Year in a few weeks. The Bengals out of a hot end to the season and a great playoff win last week, and they were celebrating like they won the damn Lombardi, going to bars in their city, adding out game balls and everything. Like if they did something very miraculous, they'll be going to Tennessee. And what do you think?
I personally think they should celebrate. They should. I mean, it's not every day where you go 31 years without winning a playoff game. So yeah, this is a big deal for them. Obviously, it's a step in the right direction for the franchise. So you gotta be happy for them at least. Now, of course, they want to now it's back to work for them now, and
which I hope they did.
Which I think they will because think about it. They mentioned Derrick Henry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry is a monster. We know this already, but he hasn't played in 2 months.
He hasn't played in 2 months.
So I know that he's been practicing with the squad and everything, but practicing with the squad is not the same as simulating real life, real big hits in games. So I'm not too sure of 100% that he'll be able to get accustomed to football life. That I like a better word so quickly. I don't think it'll be easy. I think if they manage to win this game, then yeah, this will be a test for him to get back in the shuffle a little bit. But I think it'll take a while for him to get accustomed to it. But
does he need to be though? Does he need to be 100%? Does he need to go 100% full throttle in this game?
I mean, they want to win the game. Sure, yeah, they want to win the game because I don't think they're gonna win this game. Honestly, I don't. I'm going with Cincinnati to win this game. I think Cincinnati gonna win. I think Cincinnati again. They're one of the technically the last game of the season, week 17 18 doesn't count.
Who cares?
Doesn't count. But to me, they're coming in very, very hot, right? Very hot, very confident, to be at least. And a confident team, a hot, confident team is someone you should watch out for. And I think they feel confident they can go into Cincinnati and go into Memphis to Nashville and beat them. And I think they will beat them in this game.
I'm 1,000% disagree.
Okay.
1,000% disagree.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I think unfortunately for me, I'm still gonna have that jersey on and repping. I'm not going front, but I think it ends tomorrow. I'm gonna give you two big reasons why. That offensive line that they have, which is also not healthy, has to go up against that physical as hell defensive line of the Tennessee Titans. So they got to deal with. They're not dealing with the lowly Max Crosby only defensive line anymore. There's only one person. They got to deal with a few dudes. They got to deal with Jeffrey Simmons. They got to deal with Harold Landry. They got to deal with Lemico Autry, and they got to deal with, even though I don't like him very much, but he has help, and Bud Dupree. Those are people that's not the Raiders defensive line. This is entirely big, physical. That P word is the word that I love in playoff time. Physical. And I think they might be the most physical defensive line in the entirety of the playoffs, maybe outside Tampa Bay, maybe. They don't have to be the best players. They're not the best players. They're not all pro, like Los Angeles buying their players, trying to get all these all pros in and whatnot. No. These are not the most, on paper, the best players, but I think they're the toughest. They're the most physical, and I think that's what weak offensive lines are scared of the most. Are players like that who, the minute the ball snaps, they're uppercutting the dude right there in the jaw, getting him out the damn way, and then Joe Mixon is like, what the fluff? Like, that's what I think they have to go up against, that they haven't had to go up against in a while. That's not the type of team that they want to deal with right now. Their front seven is physical as hell. Mike Vrabel's ready for this, dude. And they're not going to deal with the Raiders secondary, which I don't even know who's in the damn secondary outside of Casey Hayward, who's good, but a little on the older side. You know what I mean? And you saw what happened to them. Like, the secondary is fast, and they have an all-pro safety in Kevin Byard, who is not 5'8", 140 pounds, a.k.a. Jesse Bates. That's a big physical all-pro safety they got to deal with, that be go flying all over the field. Is going to help out with what's going on in the receiving course. So I think that they're going to force the Cincinnati Bengals to actually take shorter passes and inline passes rather than just gunning the mother trucker, which I don't know if they're going to have time to do. And I don't think they are, personally. So that line. Now, the other side, that defense was, even though they won, they were still getting shredded by Derek Carr and company, right? So with that with the weakness of the linebacking core and the cornerback core, it hasn't been really tested all that well. Now they got to deal with AJ Brown, who has been on a monster tear and is hot himself the last month, kicking ass for Tennessee. They have to deal with Derrick Henry, and this is the biggest thing I need them to do, that in order for them to win. They need to be able to split carries with him and the backup running back, because the backup running back actually has been playing well the last month and change too. So you don't have to give Derrick Henry 47 carries. You can give him 20. That's it. But that's up to Vrabel, and if he's smart enough to use his brain to do that, which I think he is, especially since his first game back in like 3 months. So you shouldn't be giving him a lot of carries to begin with. You give him 20, you give the other running back 20, and you can give Tannehill some rollout plays that Cincinnati's not going to be able to defend. That's another reason that Cincinnati defense is going to get exposed. This play action run game that they haven't been really dealing with much either. They've been dealing with more of just straight up back or passing. But Josh Jacobs did give him work last week running on them. He did. So this is a big physical team that Cincinnati's not used to seeing, and I think is the end of the ropes. And that doesn't mean that they're bad. That doesn't mean that their season is trash. Doesn't mean anything. That just means that they're not ready yet, which I think everybody could agree with. And they got a little bit of work to do to get to the promised land. And they exceeded everybody's expectations. No question. That's a good football team. You're just not there yet. And I like Tennessee in this game. I don't want to say a rout, but it's, I think, a comfortable win. We'll be using that time to drink beer. In my opinion, that's what I think.
True. I mean, like, I think you have the comfortable win. I think it's going to be a very close game for Cincinnati win this game. Definitely going to be a test on how they're able to withstand that. I think they'll end up.
You know what I forgot, right?
What?
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, this happened. I got to keep it in front of me like this because I have my notes, right? But I keep forgetting to put the gambling stuff next to it. So the Titans in this game are favored by 3.5, and the over and under is 47.5. What the fluff is this dog barking at? This dog pisses me off, bro. That's in you.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot closer. In my opinion, I think the Bengals do pull it out. It's gonna be very close. Honestly speaking, I do think they'll find a way to withstand that physical line. I think they'll should be able to make plays and stuff like that. But I do think they'll find a way to win this game on the road against the Titans.
Yes. So that's the first Sunday. I wish I could pause in this, but I can't. Great. Saturday night, Green Bay will be hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Green Bay is favored by 5.5, and the over and under is 47. Now, the difference now is last game, that's the first time they'll be meeting against each other. This game happened before this season in week 3, so I guess it doesn't matter much, but I'll say it anyway, and it's also in the ticker. Last time they played, the Green Bay visited San Francisco in week 3. If y'all remember week 3, that San Francisco wasn't looking all that hot. Jimmy was people already calling for Jimmy's job at that point. They didn't have developed their running game yet. The secondary was looking really scary at that point. If y'all remember in week 3, September, for the San Francisco 49ers. Green Bay won 30-23. Devontae Adams almost won this game entirely by himself with 12 receptions, 131 yards, and a touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo also committed 2 turnovers in that game. Something that still might happen.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Of course he did. This won't be the game a couple of years ago where Jimmy G's going to throw 8 passes in a game and demolish the Packers. That's not going to happen. And in Lambeau, that's not going to happen. I expect not only the Packers to win this game, but to win comfortably. I don't trust Jimmy G at all. I think Jimmy G will find a way to really put his team in a deficit to the point where it's going to be hard to come back from, especially since this is more like Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers really wants this game because it seems that he can't beat this team. He can't beat them in the playoffs when it matters the most. So it seems like
I agree with the one. I'm trying to think if we want to put needs in it too.
I mean,
because in a sense, it like all the stuff that he's been doing for over the last like 7 months with the off-season stuff, him crying about he wants to leave the team and all that other garbage that was happening in the off-season, him doing his vaccination stuff, which I don't give a crap about, but the media does, right? That Chicago beat writer. All that stuff going on is like, dude, like you want to cry about this team, but you can't get it done when you're supposed to. So this is another example here. If you lose this game, my brother, this is a huge issue.
This is it.
Huge issue for your legacy, my guy. Is like that I think he needs it. Also, I can argue that. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I think it is because Eagles wouldn't have done it as a 1 seed. That's crazy.
Again, I mean, it's not the first time he went one and done as a 1 seed.
It's not.
He's done it, I think, two times already. I think. I remember he did it in 11.
11. That's probably the most famous one.
Yeah, the 15-1 season against the Giants, and I believe he did it again. I'm trying to remember the year.
No, I think that was the only time. He's been one and done multiple times, but not as the 1 seed.
All right, yeah, which is still bad. Still bad for his legacy, saying you can't get it done when it matters the most. But again, besides all that, I do think that I just don't trust Jimmy G to put them in a position to win. I don't. I think they'll win this game. They'll win this game convincingly, probably like a 10-point win. They
Green Bay.
Yeah. Of course, I'm not picking San Francisco. Hell no.
I'll make it be clear for the fans. That's what I'm saying for the audience.
I got you. I think Green Bay wins by about 10 points, at least minimum 10 points. I think it's a game for a little bit, but then around the second half they pull away and spend.
So you like the 5.5?
I do like the 5. I do like the 5.5 Green Bay. Yes, I do.
Even after last week, even though they almost choked, but even after last week.
Yes.
Even after 2 weeks ago against the Rams. You're still like, all right,
not
bad. All right, no problem.
Yes.
I'm picking Green Bay as well. I don't think it's going to be as far-fetched as he's saying. A 10-point comfortable win, I don't know about that. I mean, it could happen, though. It definitely could happen. And that'll say a lot for their opponents for the next week, having to go to Lambeau. If they win that comfortably against the San Francisco team, was pretty hot at this point in time. This is the hardest game to me to call, believe it or not. People probably think about Tampa Bay Rams. I have something for you. That's the next game, actually. I have something for that. This is the hardest game for me to call because I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Like for the Green Bay defense, for example, I think this is going to be the first time everybody's playing. They're all healthy. I think Jair should be back. Darius Smith should be back. They all should be 100% healthy coming into this game now. So this is the first time in at least 2 to 3 months that everybody is back. But they did not play the San Francisco team the last time they played. This is a completely different team. The team they're playing now is similar, not as good, but similar to what they played in 2019. Their running game is back to the way it was, kind of, for the most part, because the last time they played, their backfield was completely not doing well at
Yeah,
all.
for real.
They were trying to implement that old that higher draft pick. I forget his name, but they wound up going with a 6th rounder instead in Elijah Mitchell. I forget the other dude's name. I don't think that was a Chase Sermon. That's a higher. Yeah, that's there you go. Him. He was no Elijah Mitchell. He's running well, so they're gonna do it with him. They haven't been using Deebo Samuel the way they use him now as a triple threat, as a quarterback, as a running back, and a wide receiver. So they beat Dallas without George Kittle. So I'm pretty sure George Kittle gonna get stuff now.
Beat the Cowboys by himself. Literally,
it feels it really does feel that way. Yeah. If it does feel that way, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I said George Kittle will be implemented in this game. I'm very sure they're not going to hide George Kittle again, the way they did last week, because that was embarrassing for Dallas, and I'm not gonna lie, a little hilarious. So this is a different team. So like now that I'm seeing this, it's like fudge. I don't know how to really dice this, because especially later in the season, Green Bay's defense, especially up front, has been kind of soft as that needs passed. So if you come up against San Fran like this, they're in for a long night. They really are. And are they really gonna be just force feeding Devontae Adams again? Because they could, in a sense, because this secondary is actually pretty bad in San Fran, but they've been playing well the last 2 weeks in their zone. Their zone coverage has been very disciplined. So we'll see how that goes there too. Bakhtiari's back. So now since Bakhtiari's back, is that line going to be able to get the push they need for Aaron Rodgers to do what he does? They'll be playing against A.J. Dillon now. They didn't have A.J. Dillon in 2019. They have him now. So now they have a dual threat running back core back for Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to do much, like he hasn't been doing all year. So are they going to be able to stop that? See that? Fred Warner is not 100% or may not play at all. And Nick Bosa, I don't know if he's going to play. I think he had a concussion last game. So I don't know who he's going to play either.
Play at all.
So he may not play. If he doesn't play, I don't think there's any question now they're going to lose. So we got to wait on that. There's a lot of question marks in this game. I like Green Bay also. I like it closer, though, because I think LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan know each other to the point where it's just a straight-up chess match. And I like LaFleur's chances more in this one, especially since he has a healthier team. That H word, health. He has a healthier team now. At home, cold, I think he'll be the one to get it done. I don't have a score for this, but I also do like San Fran still covering the 5.5. I like Green Bay by like 3, something like that. I think it'll be much closer.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Saturday. Again, this should be good games overall.
Very entertaining games. It should be.
So we shouldn't be bored like we were last week. Like we had to entertain ourselves while some of these bum ass games are going on. I mean, Dallas entertained us lovely because that was hilarious. But
that was just clear entertainment and not in a good way. Like it was more like laughing at both of them.
I mean, it was a good way in a sense how Dallas.
No, I'm talking about far as the content of our content saying, listen, we want to be fun of both of you guys. Because
that's what we did in the last episode.
Yeah.
I mean, you be draw. I can't get over that.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with it. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to talk about losers. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. Los Angeles Rams will be visiting Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is favored by 2.5. That line went down. It was 3.5 all week. And the over and under is 48.5. This team's also played in the regular season. Last time this happened, Tampa had to travel to Los Angeles, and they got absolutely annihilated 34-24. No, it was a bigger beating than that. It was
a big beating than that, yes. A very big beating than that.
Yeah, Stafford, 343 and 4 touchdowns.
Right.
He was absolutely masterful. This dog, bro. I'm sure y'all hear that, right?
My boss said they hear it. Definitely hear that.
And I can't do nothing about it right now. And I have a useless roommate who doesn't want to get off his fucking lazy ass and do something about that. Yeah, like he knows I'm recording.
God damn it.
And I can't pause the recording because this is live recording technically.
Yeah, it's live recording, yeah.
Yeah. There he goes now coming out the room.
Poor
when he
dog.
rated damage.
Poor
no,
dog.
more dog my ass. Let me not get here.
No.
This is not what this podcast is about. My bad, guys. Anyway. So we already went through the DVOAs of all these teams the last episode, and I just realized I forgot to talk about this about San Fran and Green Bay. So I'm gonna do it for the Rams. Now Rams is 5th in DVOA, and the Buccaneers are third in total DVOA put together. Um, oh yeah, what you got?
This is tough, honestly. This is actually a tough game. Um, you know how I feel about Tom Brady in rematches, especially when he gets beat like that. When he gets beat the way he did in the first matchup in the regular season, because yeah, it was really bad. The Rams did whatever they wanted to do back then, but you can't bet on this man, Tom. You can't bet on Tom Brady in the playoffs, especially at home as well. It's gonna be a it's gonna be a dog fight throughout the entire game. This is not gonna be a beating again. No, it's gonna be a dog fight again. A dog fight for the determine this one. And I think Tampa Bay pulls it off at home, but it's going to be it's going to be very, 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 very physical. I think. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Okay, so this game. Thank you. Shit, I just heard them saying it. Now, this game is going to be very interesting. I didn't. At first, I was like, "This is going to be the toughest game of the schedule for me to pick." But now I'm like, I don't think it's that hard anymore. If you look at that Eagles game very closely last week, you notice something about Brady and the receivers. He don't like them very much.
Yeah, just like very much.
No, he does not. He does not. It's very obvious when in the first, second quarter, he was cursing them out literally on the field because they weren't doing the right assignments. Those injuries to the receivers, or how should I say? Trying to be very nice. The outspoken outburst a certain receiver had in New York, dealing with stuff like that. Losing all those receivers in various ways. Let's put it that way. There we go. Put it that way. Losing receivers in various ways completely took this big stacked receiving core that Tom Brady had in the beginning of the season to just only two guys he really trusts. And one of them is completely hobbled in Mike Evans. He's going to be the one that has to deal with Jalen Ramsey most likely. And he's doing it hobbled. So I don't like that matchup for Tampa Bay at all. So he may not be available for the entire game. It's very possible. Then you have Gronkowski. Now, Gronkowski is not the 2017 and before Gronkowski. This is a different one. So is he going to be able to beat teams by himself the way he used to back in the New England days? I don't think so. So now Tom is going up against a team who's beating his ass more than one. I believe that was twice they busted. I think he busted ass last year too, 2020. Yeah. So this is twice that he's gone destroyed by this team, right? When he played them the last time, they did not have a Von Miller the last time they played. Now they have Von Miller. The last time they played, I think he had a healthy offensive line. He does not have a healthy offensive line coming into this game. Tristan Wirfs has been on walking boot all week. I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he is, there is no way he is more than 70%. There's no way, possible way. So now, that's literally against Von Miller's side too. Literally. When I keep breaking that stuff down, it makes me wonder, how is it possible that Tampa Bay is going to find a way to win if their roster literally is not up to par at this point in time because of all those injuries? All the injuries that they went through all year might actually come back to bite them in this game. Now, advantages, they're at home. They score a crap ton of points when they're at home. They're probably the best home team in the NFL. They have Tom Brady. If there's anybody who find a way to overcome this, it's Tom Brady. Is that much of an analysis? No, but that's also a fact. We've seen it forever. Now, they have to hope for a few things too, because we've seen a pretty good Matt Stafford last week against the Cardinals, who didn't have much in his plate. I think the best thing that the Bucks can do is to bottle up a new and a surging new Achilles, Cam Akers, who I don't understand how you go from Achilles injury literally 4 months ago to being almost as good as you were before you got it. Wow, the medicals nowadays, right? Bottle him and Sony Michel up and put all the pressure on Matthew Stafford. This is by and far the biggest game he's ever played in. It's not even close. So I think you have to put it all in his hands. Now, the last time they played, they got destroyed by Deshaun Jackson, who only caught 3 passes, but diced them up for over 120 yards. And Matthew Stafford missed him like 3 times in that game too, so he should have had more touchdowns. They do have Odell Beckham, who's way better, and who Matthew Stafford actually likes. They have to deal with that. The more I'm talking, is more like the Rams should win this game, and I'm picking the Rams in this game, not because they're better, it's because Tampa is just not up to par right now. If they were healthy like they were in September before the Cowboys game, because in that Cowboys game they lost their whole secondary. So if this was the preseason roster versus this Rams, I'll pick Tampa Bay too. But the fact that they're injured, the fact that McVay knows how to beat this team for some reason, don't know why, but he knows how to beat this team. And the fact that all the purchases that the Rams, that I'm making fun of them about all week, the purchases that they've done, it might be coming on dividends. Now, everything's hitting together, and they're catching Tampa at the perfect time. On regular day, I will pick Tampa. But the fact that they're injured to hell and Tom and those receivers aren't in sync, this is the worst time for him to be in this type of situation. And we know how it is when Tom doesn't like his receivers. You already know how that goes. We've seen it in person many times. I like Los Angeles. I like them not in a route, but I actually like them pretty comfortably, especially if Tristan Wirfs doesn't play. 100%. I like that around Los Angeles, personally. The final game, the game that everybody's waiting for. The Buffalo Bills, for the second time this season, will be visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City's favorite by 2, and the over-under is 54.5. The last time they played, it was a hilarious sight. The Buffalo Bills absolutely annihilated the Kansas City Chiefs 38-20 in their own home field. I believe that was week 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Sunday night. It was a sight to see. And according to everybody, all the media, they forgot that even existed, because most of them are liking the Chiefs. I believe betting, I want to say everybody's going towards the Bills. I want to say, and betting wise. But the media and them people who loves to cut Kansas City's nutsacks, they're all over Kansas City for some stupid ass reason. Go ahead.
I don't see, first of all, the way the Bills built their team. They built this team just specifically to beat this team. Say, hey, they're the class of the AFC. We got to beat them to get to the Super Bowl. So the last meeting, people will say, "Oh, but Kansas City is not the same Kansas City team. Is it really not the same Kansas City team? The defense was awful. It was awful during the time. Yeah, they had that stretch where the defense played well, and then they started to come back to earth. Now the defense started to come back to earth. Now I want to be honest. Who on that D line is going to be able to, even though Buffalo's offensive line is average at best, but who on that line besides who that line is going to, I don't see how how's going to work, honestly speaking. I think Josh Allen's going to have a way with them again, like really really bad. Like I don't see how the Chiefs come in. The Chiefs, even though the being at home, I think it's not even going to matter. I think Buffalo home there. And I don't want to say that they beat the hell out of them again. I don't think they'll beat the hell out of them again, but I do expect Buffalo to win this game. But I just don't see how they can stop, because think about it, the Buffalo's offense and Brandon Dable, they've been playing lights out offensively. Yeah, I guess they made the top 5 defense look like there was nothing last week. What makes you think that your sub-average defense is going to do anything to them? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going Buffalo. If Buffalo wins and go back to the AFC Championship game, and I think this is their game saying, here, we finally got them. We finally beat them when it matters. People talk about, it's the regular season. Yeah, they did that because they want to prove a point. The prove will do it again. I think they will.
So I do agree with the other people that this is not the same Kansas City team. It's not. Technically not. You're 100% right. They cut down on the turnovers a little bit. They defense playing significantly better. No question about that. But playing significantly better from literally the worst defense ever doesn't really say much. You're still not a good defense at all. As the last few times you played against good teams, as of late, when you play Cincy, when you play the Chargers, you got absolutely sliced and diced up. You know what I'm saying? That you were still getting it to you when you were playing against good teams. It's insane what people remember what they want to remember, and people only accept what they want to accept. They never want to pull everything together and actually make a real calm analysis on it. There's one, oh yeah, but they played them. That didn't matter. Oh, well, this didn't. Why doesn't it matter? Yes, it does. Everything that happened for a reason. Okay, so no, like when they play like they beat Dallas. They beat Dallas with no offensive line, no wide receivers. That's why they didn't a lot of points. They beat Green Bay. They played against Green Bay. They played against Jordan Love. Jordan Love was absolutely horrifically bad. Now, what do you mean? Like they beat up on the Raiders. Yeah, and look what it took for the Raiders to make the playoffs in the first place. It took Indy to have the choke of the century for them to make the playoffs in the first place. Like what you mean? Because I bet money, I bet you, even though this is the if and or shoulda, coulda, woulda, so it doesn't really matter. But I bet you the Chargers will play that game differently if they knew it was literally ride or die. I'm just saying. So, but whatever, it has nothing to do with anything. Well, they beat them on the Raiders. That's cute. That's very nice. The same Raiders no one cares about, no one believes in the first place. I'm gonna say, so like, what that's supposed to mean something to me? I don't get it. I don't get it. So what are we talking about here? Now, they played Pittsburgh yesterday. Congratulations. You played against a team that had no business being in the postseason in the first place.
And then even then, they still managed to score points on you guys and carve defense up a little bit. Yeah. The game was already over, but at least they did something.
It's not even that. They committed 2 turnovers while the Pittsburgh Steelers were in the game in the beginning. So are y'all sure y'all done with your turnovers? The last time they played Buffalo, they committed 4. The last time they played them. You committed 2 turnovers against that Pittsburgh Steelers team that is absolutely anemic on offense. Like, they have no business being in the playoffs. 2 turnovers. I'm just saying. So are you sure your turnover stuff is fixed? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
Now you're going against a team who on defense is stout. They're ranked the number 1 defense in the NFL, and yet people are always gonna bother who they played. How about y'all? Who y'all played? I just told you right now, when you're in your good stretch, you played against nothing. So what do you mean? How can I believe that your defense is completely fixed if you played against crap for the majority of the time that y'all were playing? I played against Denver. Mind you, you got diced by Denver in week 18 by Drew Lock. You got ran on. You know what Buffalo started doing well now?
Running the football.
Oh, they run the football now.
Motor Singletary has been on fire the last couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, and y'all, they can't stop the run. They could basically stop the run right now.
Yep.
So, what would you think if they're running the ball that consistent, especially with Allen is doing some runs as well? How you gonna stop that?
So let's go through the rest of the schedule. Let's go through it. Since that Tennessee beat down when he went to Tennessee and got absolutely annihilated, they played the New York Giants. They allowed 17 in that game, by the way, but they played the New York Football Giants. That's one of the last games that Daniel Jones played. That's the top offense.
They almost lost that game too.
Yeah. Then they played Green Bay. They played Jordan Love, not Aaron Rodgers, and they lost 7. It's Jordan Love. He sucks. Then they beat the hell out of the Raiders. Cute. Then they played Dallas. Like I said, the same Dallas team with no offensive line and no receivers. They did not have Amari Cooper, if I'm not mistaken, and CD Lamb got hurt early in that game.
Right.
They had no receivers. Yeah, the body play against Denver. It's Denver. There's a reason why their coach is now, and they have a new coach in a couple of weeks. They have a new coach. I wonder why. Like, come on now. Then he played against the Raiders again and beat them hell out of them worse. I mean, they deserved it standing in the middle of their field the way they did. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but whatever. Then you play against the Chargers. You allowed 28 easily in that game. And if it wasn't for Joey Bosa being a simpleton, they actually would have won that game too. Then you play Pittsburgh.
Beat the hell out of them too.
The worst offense in the NFL, you could argue. Then you play against Cincinnati, a good team, and they laid 34 on you with ease. I still think Kansas City should have won that game, but it is what it is. And then you play against Denver again, and you allow 24. It wasn't for a fumble 6. You would have lost that game too, most likely. That's your stretch of your great defense if played. That's who you played. But yet they want to question Buffalo, who they played, that the defense is overrated. Because if you remember correctly, early in the season, they questioned their offense too.
They did.
But then they started playing New England. They played Tampa Bay, and they played good. They played Carolina, who's a good defense. They played all those defensive teams after that, and they won all those games. And they stopped questioning the offense. Now they question the defense again. Why can't a team just be good?
True, maybe.
This team is good. Look at the game. Watch. When they played against quality opponents, that's the key. That's the key that people not understanding is quality opponents. You notice when Buffalo plays against trash, they play down to the competition. Don't know why.
Don't know why they do it. It's
but
ridiculous.
they did, and that's what happened. When they play against good teams, the New Englands, the Kansas Cities, the Tennessees, even though they lost that game, but they played well against Tennessee. They played against who am I forgetting? I say Tampa already, New England.
Yes,
Yeah,
Tampa Bay,
all those good teams. They rose up to the occasion every time. They didn't win them all, but they rose up. Did they not?
True.
Ooh, so that's the games that you should be looking at. And like you said, now throughout the whole month of December, Singletary and Josh Allen has been getting a combined 150 to 200 yards rushing combined since December, and they did it last week. Should people take that game last week seriously? No. When a team that came in and quit in the middle of your field, you don't take that game seriously. But that's how bad they beat the hell out of them, though. So you give them some credit for that. You just can't take anything from that game and apply it to this one. Last week's game ain't got nothing to do with this week's game. This is a game where they know they need. This is a game where I know they're prepared for it. This is a game where they need the most. It's time for Buffalo to whip some ass. I got Buffalo in a very similar games that I ass whooping. They did this in week 3.
Okay.
Very similar. My score, I think I had 34-24. So it was a little less. But I love Buffalo. This is the easiest game I picked. I'll pick this quick.
I agree. This was the easiest game to pick. He picked 2. I just don't see how Kansas City can even go toe to toe with them, even despite all of that. But again, for Buffalo, this is what you build your team on. So you have to step up. You have to win this game. Because if you don't win this game, then it's like, okay, what was the point? You build your team. Basically, to me, if you lose this game, to me, you're satisfied with overtaking the New England Patriots. That'd be my assumption. That's my assumption. Like, you build a team with Kansas City, go out there and beat them when it matters. Beat Mahomes when it matters in the playoff game. If not, we're back to square one. And it's like, okay, can we take you guys seriously moving forward? Yeah, they're a great team, of course, but what's saying much if your biggest achievement of the season was beating the New England Patriots by 30 points in the playoffs? Let's be honest.
I agree 100%. And like I heard this from my cousin. If they don't beat them now, I don't think they could beat them ever. And I actually agree with that 100%. This is the weakest Kansas City team we've had since the Mahomes era began in 2018. You can't beat this team. You ain't never gonna do it, because I don't think Kansas City is gonna be like this next year. I think they're gonna be better next year than this year. So if you don't beat this one, I don't think you're ever gonna do it. So this is your chance,
right?
I'll say for Aaron Rodgers too. Aaron Rodgers, the NFL hasn't been weaker than it is right now. This is your chance to get number 2, brother. This is it. Do it.
I literally think, especially since we already know this is his final year in Green Bay. This is it. Like, there's no question. This is last year in Green Bay.
I think he should retire.
I
don't know why he would go anywhere else. Why?
I don't get it either. But this is his last chance. This is it for him. If you can't win the championship this year in Green Bay, he's not going to win no championship ever.
At least to him not going on a damn Super Bowl. Jesus, bro. Like, come on.
I feel like he has to win this one. I don't think he will, but he has to win this one.
What, the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl. He has to win it. The last thing you want to do, if Aaron Rodgers loses, let's say, for example, let's say that Green Bay wins, Tampa Bay wins, they go back to Lambeau next year, play Tampa Bay and Tom Brady again. If Tom Brady beats you again,
you mean next week?
Yeah, next week. If they mess around and beat you again, and let's say Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl, two Super Bowls in your conference. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is a great player. He's a Hall of Fame talent.
When you cancel the NFL, he wins another one. Cancel the NFL, he wins another one. What's the point? We know what's going to happen. So you got to find a way to get rid of him.
Yeah. And
put it to federal law. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II cannot play football anymore. We're sick of this. Don't stamp done. Make Biden sign.
And and you know what's crazy is, like, I mean, you mentioned that too. Well, that part, like, legacies. His legacy looks really bad if this happens to him. He's a great player, but it's like you couldn't win.
No one's talking about that, by the way.
No one's talking about it. It's like you can't win the big one. You started that 1 year in 2010, 12 years ago. You can't win the big one. Tom Brady went 10 years straight without winning a championship. He won 4 more after that. So I don't know. But other than that, we're done here, right?
Yeah, we're done here.
Yes. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We are on Apple Podcasts. Go to your Apple Podcast apps, type our names in, and we are in there. We're also available on podcast platforms all across the world. You think about it, we're already there. So we know what time it is. Besides that, enjoy your weekend, football weekend. We'll see you back next week. Peace, love, and applesauce.